Hey everybody, Organic Galaxy here. Welcome to my channel. So glad that you're with me today. I appreciate your visit and your views. And of course, I'm getting on to do some tarot reading. And today, I want to look at Allen Weisselberg, okay? And I also, after I'm done with him, I want to look at Don Jr. and Ivanka because I feel like they're probably a little nervous right now, to say the least. So I want to get started with Allen Weisselberg. What I know from him is what I read in Michael Cohen's book. And he really, excuse me, so he is the Trump org's longtime accountant. If anybody knows what's going on, Allen Weisselberg is going to be one of those people. He just was privy, right, to all the financial transactions, starting with Trump's dad and Trump org, the whole deal. So I do recall that, they already approached him when they were going through the whole Michael Cohen hush payment to Stormy Daniels thing. And, excuse me, they'd already approached him there, and I think that he made a deal, okay? So in that situation, the Stormy Daniels payment thing, Allen Weisselberg flipped and he avoided prosecution. And, he stayed on Trump's good side. And I think really what was going on there was the whole Stormy Daniels story was really small potatoes. Okay, that was just no big deal, small potatoes. I don't know how much Trump really cared about that. Yeah, of course, he lied and schemed and everything. And, Cohen went to jail for it. But as far as Allen Weisselberg giving up any information regarding that situation, I don't think that was big enough to warrant him being on Trump's shit list, so to speak. But now it's different, right? Now we're talking about Cy Vance, Manhattan District Attorney, millions of pages of tax documents. This is the big one. This is the big one. And I think that they're going to go right to Allen Weisselberg, and he's going to have to decide, what does he want to do? Is he going to flip and, have his part in bringing Trump down? Or is he going to stay loyal to his boss due to, I don't know, loyalty, maybe fear, who knows? And stay on Trump's good side, but then, of course, that opens him up to legal jeopardy, with the district attorney's office. And he would definitely have legal jeopardy because he is aware of all these transactions. Okay, this is my preamble. I know I always do that, but it's really just so I can get in that headspace, okay? I really just want to get in an Allen Weisselberg space where he's at, what he's confronting. And let's take a look at Allen Weisselberg. So what is his outcome? I want to know, is he going to flip, not flip? Is he going to get taken down, imprisoned? Is Trump going to do something to this guy? Allen Weisselberg. What's Allen Weisselberg's future looking like? Allen Weisselberg. I think I'm going to do a full Celtic spread on this one. I haven't done a full spread in a long time. But yeah, I want to do a full spread on Allen Weisselberg. How are you doing, little guy? Okay, so, the thoughts that are coming to me right now is he's got some inner resolve. He's a lot stronger than he looks. He's this little guy. He's, elderly. He's older. He's just so under the radar, But I'm feeling this guy's got a backbone. He's got some inner resolve. He's not going to be anybody's sucker on either side, or at least that's what he's hoping. But that's just my first instinct. Okay, Allen Weisselberg. What is your future looking like? All right, let's take a look. Allen. right. Allen Weisselberg, just a sec. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so I know you can't totally see these that great. I'll do it like this. Maybe you can see them a little better. Okay, so Allen Weisselberg, you guys. We're going to start, and gals, we're going to start right out with the King of Cups. King of Cups. So what this card is telling me is, this is representing Allen Weisselberg. And he, I'm going to bring this up. So Allen Weisselberg is dealing with some serious emotional baggage right now. I'm getting the sense that he's showing here as a king, which is a little surprising, but I think he's showing up here as a king because he's a king maker. In other words, if Trump's the king, he could not have reached the level that he's at. He could not have reached his kingship, his authority, his being the leader without Allen Weisselberg. Trump can't do these financial transactions by himself. He might, he's definitely crooked enough to know that he wants to game the system, like, hey, undervalue this, overvalue that, cheat and lie and steal. But the technicalities of that work, Trump can't do. Okay, he's not an accountant. He's a property guy, right? So Allen Weisselberg is the kingmaker. And he is sitting in the middle of a whole lot of emotions. Now, on the one hand, the King of Cups has the emotional intelligence and the emotional maturity to keep his emotions in check. He's not going to let them control him. And I think, that's kind of where I was going a little bit with that inner resolve. He's on the down low. He's under the radar. He's got a poker face. You can look at him and just not see beneath the surface. This guy can hide his emotions. He's not wearing them on his shirt sleeve, okay? However, there is a lot under the surface there with this guy. He's feeling very high levels of a variety of emotions like loyalty, all right? I think that's definitely there, both to father and son Trump, okay? There's loyalty there. There's fear and anxiety, of course, because of what he's going through right now. He might feel a sense of love of some kind for the Trump family. He's seen Trump grow up and his kids grow up, right? I think there's some close connections there. It can maybe be not familial, but yet long-lived relationships with these people. He's seen everything happen over the years. And I just think there's a complexity of emotions going on with this guy. And part of what he's probably feeling now too is self-preservation. How can he protect himself and his family and his wealth, right? So lots of emotions going on there, but he's not wearing them on the sleeve. You're not going to see him in his face. He's got himself under control. Okay. So for his challenge, here's the Hierophant. So, okay, of course, the obvious reading is his challenge right now is a district attorney's office and the wider government, including the justice system. Okay, so that's kind of your obvious. But I think also where this is going with Allen is that his challenge, so the Hierophant is all about tradition, norms, just the status quo, okay? And Allen is going to be getting in trouble because he has broken all those traditions. Maybe not the Trump traditions. I'm talking about wider traditions, right? Like not being a criminal. So if you're an accountant, the tradition would be to, follow the legal follow the law, file things, accurately and correctly, not be corrupt, right? So he's breaking those, let's call them legal traditions, the oath of, integrity that an accountant should have. Just those, I'm seeing those kind of traditions too, those norms that he should have been following all this time. He didn't, okay? He most likely, I don't know, right? Because none of this has come out fully yet, but most likely we're assuming that he broke those laws. He's broke those traditions, those norms in the service of Trump and Trump's family. And as a result, the upright version of this card, the institutions are now his challenge as well. So, what is Allen Weisselberg going to have to face? What is he going to come face to face with inevitably? We have the Two of Pentacles. If I can pick it up. Yes, I can. Two of Pentacles. So, flat out, this is juggling money overseas. So what he's going to be having to come face to face with is all the financial deeds that he's done for the Trump, let's call it a dynasty for lack of a better word. Again, Trump's father, Trump himself, the family, the organization, juggling money, right? Inflation, deflation, up in your, reducing your tax burden, increasing your valuations. I don't know, I'm not an accountant or I'm smart about these kind of financial, issues and terminology and stuff, but okay, this is what I'm saying. This is what he's done. The practicalities, the actual paperwork, juggling money overseas. We've heard a little bit about the China account. We know that there's money going back and forth. I think this specifically, this is going to come out. He's going to have to face this. He's going to have to testify. He's going to have to give information about how the Trump organization has moved money back and forth, okay? We know that people shelter their money in the Cayman Islands and all these other places so they don't have to pay taxes on it, right? He is going to have to come face to face with that activity that he did, and ideally, hopefully, spilling all those beans to Cy Vance's district attorney's office. Okay, what is foundational to Allen Weisselberg? We have this lovely strength card, and I think this goes right to what I was saying about him having he has an inner resolution. He's resolute, he's stoic. He is holding his emotions in check. And I would say, if you just see pictures of him, he does almost seem to have a gentleness to him. He's very unassuming, okay? Milquetoast, very plain. This is that sort of quiet strength. Just the unassuming, behind the scenes. You wouldn't know him in a room if you looked right at him, because he just holds that inner strength to him. He's not, the flamboyant lion. He's quiet, okay? He has a quiet inner strength to him. So, in the past, I am so not surprised to see this card, the Six of Cups, right? The Pentacles. Oh, my glasses. I need some more glasses. Okay, sorry, you guys. Six of Cups. So this is the past card. And, I think, again, flat on its face, Allen Weisselberg knows everything going back a long, long time. So the current Trump organization with the adult kids and all the stuff they're doing, Trump in New York, Trump Sr. before him, Trump, the very beginnings of the Trump organization. This guy is a long-termer, okay? He knows everything, not just the last 5 years, not just the last 10 years, decades, generations, at least 3 generations with this family. He has that information and that knowledge inside of himself. So he is going to be a treasure trove of information for Cy Vance and whoever else ends up subpoenaing him to testify. Is he going to flip or not, right? Okay, so what is he going to be? What energy is he moving into? We have, let me just put my glasses on. Okay, I believe that's the 8 of cups. Sorry, you guys. I have a better pair of glasses. Obviously, I'll start using them. Okay, 8 of cups. So this is telling us the energy that Allen Weisselberg is going to be moving into is cutting his losses and turning his back. So to me, this is indicating a flip, okay? He's going to endure a partial loss, maybe not everything. He's got some cups standing here, but he's going to be losing relationships, losing his ties, having to, cut his losses and turn his back on what he had been looking at before and walking away. I think he's going to have to turn his back on Trump and the Trump organization, cut his losses, get out with what he can, and he's going to have to, he's facing this big moon here. He's going to have to face his shadow self, face the lies and deceit, face everything that he's done. He's not going to get away with not learning from what he's done. He has to, again, face his shadow self with this. Okay, how does Allen Weisselberg see himself? We have the Page of Swords. Interesting, because oftentimes this is called the whistleblower card. I don't know that I would call him a whistleblower, because a whistleblower is someone who's just so emotionally affronted by what they see, they can't help but be a whistleblower and call the truth out, right? I don't think that's what he's doing here. So I'm going to say he sees himself with this page as sort of a low level, behind the scenes kind of brains behind the operation. With the sword, maybe he's hoping that he's just a small time player, okay? It's really not about him. It's about, he's not the big fish they're trying to fry here. Yeah, he's got some information, but he sees himself as a small time player, is not the full goal of what they're going for. And, in a way he's right, of course. It's just the information he holds. The information he holds, okay, is going to do a lot of damage, but he's not the top of the heap. Even though here, interestingly, he sees him, he's showing as the king because he's the kingmaker, but every king has their support staff behind him. Okay, here he is as support staff. What is the influence of his outside environment? And we have the Chariot. So, this is a district attorney coming, okay? Rolling up on him, coming strong. They're in for a fight. The battle has begun. The Chariot's rushing. Things are moving. It's on. It's happening. And it's happening fast. And, the Chariot promises victory. So in his environment, he's feeling this swift action. It's on. Okay, the fight's on. Hopes and fears. We have the Emperor. Hopes and fears. We have the Emperor. So I'm going to say this is Trump. Trump started out for me as the King of Wands, but then he moved into the Emperor position after a while. For Weisselberg, he's still the Emperor. Trump can make or break him, right? Trump, if he flips, he's got to incur Trump's wrath. If he stays loyal, he's hoping that Trump is going to come to the rescue. He still sees Trump as holding the power, as having the say in what happens to Allen and what his future's going to look like and what kind of repercussions he's going to have. Trump is still the emperor over this guy. He has a say. Like I said, Allen Weisselberg's ending very much has to do with Trump, one way or the other. Okay, outcome. We have the 3 of Cups. The Three of Cups. Okay, this is support and celebration, friendship, doing something together, celebrating. So for Allen Weisselberg, this says the outcome for him is he's feeling supported, he's celebrating, so he's liking his outcome. There's friendship involved here. So the kind of feeling, yeah, interesting. I'll pull a clarifier on this. My first feeling for this card is that he might be able to pull out a deal that he, that can kind of please both sides, okay? So he might be able to pull out a deal where he releases a very narrow, limited amount of information for Cy Vance, enough that maybe he stays in Trump's good graces. And that would be probably the best outcome he could hope for, is to not piss Trump off, but do his legal duty that he's going to be held and required to do. And this shows that he's having some support there. There's some celebration there. But I'm going to pull a clarifier card. And Judgment. Okay, Judgment. So what I'm getting from this reading is that Allen is going to flip. But I don't think he's going to give it all up. Not like Michael Cohen, right? Michael Cohen's like, I'll tell you anything you want to know, right? Everything. Just ask me. I will give it all to you, okay? Because he's got an axe to grind. Trump threw him under the bus. So far, I think Trump knows that he needs to respect Allen Weisselberg because he has too much information. So he's not going to be so quick to throw this guy under the bus because Allen can hurt Trump. So with that said, I think that Allen Weisselberg is going to have to flip. And part of what he's going to give information about are financial transactions, dealing with overseas money, going back and forth, that kind of thing. He's going to have to sort of cut his losses, and he's going to flip. He's going to have to. But again, it's just a partial. It's not a full. So I don't think he's going to give up all the information. And it's absolutely because he needs to maintain a decent relationship with Trump. But with these outcome cards, yeah, he's happy with his outcome, but there's judgment here. So he will be judged. The information that he's giving will be judged. I think Trump's going to be judged with this information. So yes, and again, here he is seeing himself. That sword he's holding is information. So yeah, I think he's going to Trump, but he's going to flip for sure. But I think he's going to try and limit it and narrow it as much as possible for his own self-preservation and to maintain his relationship with the Emperor Trump as best he can. And in the end, it looks like he's going to be satisfied with that, but judgment is inevitable. Judgment will be there. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there for Allen. We'll see what that Three of Cups really turns out to be. That's a really interesting outcome for this guy. I would have thought he would not have been a happy camper no matter what. But who knows? Maybe it's just because he avoided jail, right? He avoided the ultimate outcome of being tossed in jail, which again would indicate that he flips to make that deal, to keep himself out of jail. Maybe he'll give up a lot. It's just not going to be everything. Probably just because there's so much. Okay. Oh, so I want to read on these kids. Don Jr. is losing his mind. Okay, he's losing his shiznit. I think he, guy's like abusing drugs, it seems like, looks like, I don't know, I'm not standing right next to him, but he's appearing to be very unstable. I've heard rumors that he is really scared, and he should be. Ivanka, between the legal exposure that she has with her father and the legal exposure that she's going to have as the wife of Jared Kushner in any dealings that he's been doing. So, not to mention her employment with Trump org. Whew, they just, Cy Vance and all these investigators are so quiet, aren't they? Okay, so I'll do all the kids, the 3. All right, so let's start with Don Jr. Don Jr. He's so repulsive. Part of me wants to feel sorry for him. I've seen pictures, it's really interesting with Don Jr. If you look at pictures of him, his mouth is wide open because he's screaming some inane BS crap. But if you look at his eyes, he always looks one of 2 things to me: terrified or incredibly sad. Okay, so if you just, look at a picture of him like this and you just look at his eyes, you're either going to see just terrified fear or abject sorrow. That's all I see in his eyes, no matter what his mouth is doing. So part of me, of course, I do feel a little compassion for him, because everything that he's done and everything that he's learned and everything that he is was done at the heel of his father, okay? He was, I'm sure, in one way or another, or in multiple ways, abused, emotionally abused, right? He probably learned how to be a criminal before he even knew what corruption meant. Everything that he's done has been at the hands of his father. So I do feel some compassion there. But at the same time, if you listen to this guy talk, it just makes you want to vomit. I mean, he's disgusting. He's disgusting. And his lifestyle is disgusting. And the whole hunting the big game and murdering these majestic animals just is disgusting to me. And the fact that someone like him has access to the kind of wealth that he's had just is disgusting to me. So I've got some conflicting feelings. Unfortunately, the latter weighs out over the former. But let's take a look at Don Jr., okay? What is his outcome going to be? Let's just look at it. The outcome. We're going to go through a year, 2 years, more, with all these investigations, the whole bringing down of Trump org and everything. What is Don Jr.'s outcome? All right, let's see it. Don Jr., let's bring it down. Okay. All right. Oh my. Okay. So we're starting off here with the Knight of Wands. Okay, so here he is in his junior status as Emperor Trump's knight, his second in command, the leader of his battles, okay? So this is telling us that Trump relies on Don Jr. to get in the trenches with him and fight his wars for him and, be in the front of those battles. He expects his kid to be right alongside him, okay? And I think we've even heard that before. He's told Don Jr., oh, you don't want to be part of Trump org or get into real estate. You want some other kind of career. I'll cut you off. You'll be banished from Trump world. So this knight is serving both in loyalty and in duress, okay? And this knight is exhausted. He has fought a lot of battles. He is tired. He just wants to go home, relax with his wife and kids, and enjoy the good life and recuperate. He's absolutely exhausted, and all he wants is a step back. All right. Take a break, take a breather, heal, sleep, and all those kind of things. And I'm also just getting the feeling too, this is part of, and let me just say, I'll bring it up for this. This is for entertainment purposes only, okay? I don't know these people and what they do. But someone who's maybe doing a little sniffy, that will also wear down your immune system, wear down your strength, right? Wear down your mental capacity. So I think also I'm feeling in that way as well. He's burning the candle at both ends, okay? He needs to slow down, relax, take care of himself, trying to heal, step back from the battle. That's how he's presenting right there. His challenge is the Ace of Cups reversed, which is interesting because I don't have any reverse cards in this deck. But here it is, the Ace of Cups reversed. And I think this is just a testament to the kind of emotions that he's dealing with right now. The aces are like the palace of. So the Ace of Cups is the palace of emotion. It is wonderful. Your cup overfloweth, full of love and compassion, all these intuition, insight, all these wonderful qualities. The reverse of that, okay, is Don Jr.'s challenge. Sorry, excuse me, gotta deal with my cat. Okay, sorry about that. So we were looking at the reverse Eight of Cups is Don Jr.'s challenge. So he is suffering extreme amounts of fear, anxiety, betrayal, just, all of it, agony. Okay, this is like an agony card. This is probably what's feeding any chemical abuse that he might be doing. He doesn't have control of his life. He doesn't have control over his emotions. He's floundering. He's out there. He's splashing in the ocean of emotion, about to drown. This is just showing the extreme mental suffering that he is indeed going through. And also his lack of intuition. He doesn't have a lot of insight. He's not willing to hold himself accountable like his father. So there's not a lot of intuition here. He might not fully understand why some of these things are going on. Sometimes you really wonder if he even understands what he's done is illegal, right? There's no understanding. There's no understanding there. Okay. So what is Don Jr. going to be facing? Ooh, here we are with another ace. The Ace of Swords. So in this case, I would say the Ace of Swords is all the vast universe of legal and ethical issues that he's going to have to face soon. It's all coming down on him. It's inevitable. He's not going to be able to escape it. He's going to have to face all these investigations, all the subpoenas, all the inquiries, all the court dates, and everything that comes from that, right? All the, whether it's fines, he'd be lucky if it's just fines. Obviously, it can lead to his imprisonment. So he's going to have to come face to face with the universe of legal challenges that all the Trumps are dealing with. So he's not going to escape. Foundationally, the Wheel of Fortune. So this major arcana card is telling us that this is fated. This is part of his life story that's been laid out for him. Now, it could have gone any number of ways. He has complete control. Oh, here's cat number 2. Hold on. Okay, so again, this could have gone either way. He had a choice. We always have a choice. We have certain situations that are fated to happen in our lives, but we make a choice of how we react in those situations. He made his choice, but this is part of his destiny, and I would also wager to say that this is part of his family's destiny. He is just a part of something bigger, but this was destined to happen. He had some leeway, he had some leverage, but this is a karmic destiny for him and for the Trump family. All right. So in the past, we're looking at the Eight of Pentacles. So this is him, like I just mentioned, everything that he's learned was at the heel of his father. All the work that he did was for his father. Any criminal behavior that he learned or engaged in was at the behest of his father. He absolutely is a worker. In Trump, so again, it was all at the behest of his dad. So yes, he's done it. He's not innocent, okay? This shows that he has done his own works, his own, documents, his own tax this, inflation that, just, sorry, I'm not as eloquent as I'd like to be sometimes, but he was not just a witness. He was complicit, okay? He did a lot of the work himself. And he's going to have to account for that. He's going to have to come face to face with the legal repercussions of what he himself has done. Okay, his signature is on things. He filed certain kinds of paperwork. He, put certain business deals together. He was the organizer of certain kind of projects, right? So he learned his work at the heel of his father, and he carried that forward in his own bad works. So what's he going to be coming into? His future is the Magician. Interesting. So the Magician is someone who has everything they need to sort of manifest what they need. So really what it's saying is Don Jr., sorry, you guys, I feel like he's hoping for a miracle here, okay? He's hoping for some magic. He's going to do what he can with the intelligence that he has, with the emotions that he has, with the money that he has, with the willpower that he has, all those tools that he has to whatever extent he has them. He's going to use them all to try and make happen what he wants to make happen. But in his case, he's like a subpar kind of person, right? Not the most intelligent, not the most compassionate, right? Not the most in control of himself, etc. So this means that he's going to be relying on manipulation, just manipulating others to try and make some magic, create something out of nothing, make something happen that otherwise wouldn't happen. He's hoping for a miracle, okay? He's hoping for a miracle. So that's what I'm getting for Don Jr. Things aren't looking good for this guy. Again, this is karmically fated for him and his family. He's complicit in that he's done some of this work himself. Yeah, poor you. You might be tired out and you need a break. And honestly, mentally, not in a good place. But those swords are coming for him. Swords are coming for him. And the only way he can see survival is through some sort of miracle happening, or he's going to be manipulating. And if, again, he does what his father does, that's going to mean paying people off, bribes, threats, bullying. So we can definitely expect to see that out of him. But it's all in the service of self-preservation. Okay, So let's take a look at Ivanka. Ivanka. Was that not hilarious? Her trying to drum up some little rumors about running for office, being a senator in Florida or whatever offices she wanted to run for. Girl, you must be crazy. You're about to be... How can you be so delusional where you can't even see what's coming down the road for you? Like, oh, I might have 30 investigations into my finances and people trying to throw me in jail, but I'm still going to run for governor of Florida. Although, look who's there now, right? DeSantis. Not Tom. Don? No. Don DeSantis? Ron DeSantis? Anyway. Ivanka, what's going on with you? What is going on with you? What is Ivanka's outcome at the very end of these investigations? What is her outcome? Where is she going to be when all is said and done? When all is said and done, where's Ivanka? All right, bring it down for a look. Okie dokie. So, for Ivanka, we're looking at the Seven of Wands, okay? So here she is. Her back's to the wall. She's being attacked on multiple fronts. So far, she's standing her ground, okay? So, she's feeling defensive. She's feeling attacked. But so far, she thinks that she's still standing, okay? She's standing her ground. She's protecting what she's needed protecting. So as of now, she's in a very precarious position, but it is what it is right now. She's got her defenses up. What is crossing her is the Nine of Wands. So here we're going from 7 to 9, which means all of the charges against her, all the burdens that she's bearing are still going to be increasing, and it's going to be too much to bear. Here, she's going to go from standing her ground to being kneecapped. Okay, she's going to be brought down somewhat initially. So again, she's feeling burdened. She's feeling overwhelmed. She's still trying to hold on, but it's bringing her low. It's going to take a lot to lay this woman out. And but she's going to be kneecapped. That's her challenge right there. What she's going to be inevitably facing, she will not be able to escape the Hermit. So this is her being isolated. It very well could be a self-isolation. She's trying to lay low, stay away from people. She doesn't want to answer any questions. She doesn't want to be held to account. She just wants to kind of maybe start over, find a new way forward by herself, which is interesting. Does that mean by herself away from Jared as well? I don't know. They have a couple really young kids. So in that sense, I hope not. But I feel like this card is also telling me, because the Hermit, the Hermit does self-isolate. They go into that cave, right, to meditate and contemplate and build their wisdom. I think Ivanka, she thinks that she's got the brains. She thinks that she's the most insightful, the smartest one. She is one who will think about things, contemplate next steps, strategize. She is capable of this, and she's doing it without letting anybody know, okay? She's not giving up her cards. She's not telling anybody. There's secrecy here. So the feeling I'm definitely getting is she's thinking of a way out, a way that she can leave, a way that she can isolate herself from the chaos that's going on. She's not telling her brothers. She's not talking to dad about it. She's not giving up her cards. She's doing this in isolation in her own mind. So again, self-protection. She's doing this for self-protection, but she's going to try and find her own path, lead her own path away from everything that was before, starting anew, being alone. That's what she is coming face to face with. So yeah, I think this is telling us she's going to have to, she might make the choice to sever herself from the rest of her family. Excuse me. In the past, here we go with the cup of, the Ace of Cups again, right side up this time. I don't know how these things happen. Okay, so Ace of Cups in the past. So I'll just say it's a new beginning. She's full of emotion. I feel like she thought her father being president, initially, she thought that just opened up the world for her. She was like, oh, my cup runneth over. I have all these brand new opportunities. I could be a senator. I could be the governor of Florida. I could, run the Women's Day, events that happened. She was big on that. I think she had a lot of big ideas. She had a lot of ambition. She had a lot of passions that she thought that she was going to be able to pursue, right? New ideas, new ventures, new things, a lot of hope, a lot of, positive feelings. She just had a lot of ambitions, a lot of hopes for the future. That was in the past, okay? It's been many moons since she's been feeling that way. But that was there. Yeah. So where she's going to be moving with the Eight of Cups. Okay, so again, with these cups, it's all about emotions, relationships, all those things that we hold in our heart, right? She is going to have to cut her losses and walk away. A lot of those relationships are going to be lost. She might hold on to a few, maybe, but most of it's going to be spilled away and lost. A lot of sorrow, a lot of grief. And again, she's got to turn her back and walk away from everything that she worked for in the past. Cutting her losses. And again, just like I said with Allen Weisselberg, facing that moon means you got to face your shadow self. Face what you've done, okay? Face your own inner turmoil if you want to move forward. So there's going to be some comeuppance for her, a lot of emotional loss, probably severing her family ties. That's pretty much what she's going to be looking forward to. I did somehow skip over the foundation card, so I'll go back to that. And it's the World. The World. So, okay, so what I'm feeling here foundationally for Ivanka, what she's most concerned with is her own movement on the world stage. Talked a little bit about the political desires that she was having, but she cares about being an elite, the influence that she has, the businesses that she can have. Just like I mentioned, she wanted to be involved with International Women's Day. She sees herself as someone on the world stage. She wants to have a global impact. She wants her brand to have a global impact. She wants to be one of the elites, all right? That is what's foundational to her. So this is part of her motivation. Any choices that she makes, like parting and walking away from her family maybe, again, putting herself in isolation, starting a new path. It's all about how she can save herself and her influence and her wealth in the world, not just little old New York or little old Florida or even little old United States, right? No, she wants to be a global player, global brand, a global mover and shaker. So that's what's foundational to her. Again, to wrap it around to the energy she's going to be moving into, she's going to be taking some losses that are going to be emotional based losses. Again, sorrow, grief, regret, breaking friendship ties, breaking family ties, having to come face to face with her own inner demons. That's where Ivanka is going to be headed. Okay, so unfortunately I didn't see any jail card show up, which means that we'll have to look at them again. We'll have to look at them again. Or maybe that is what it is, you know? Anyways, I really appreciate you guys being with me. Come back again, visit my channel, like it, subscribe, leave me comments. I like those too. And yeah, I'll see you guys in another few days. All right, take care. Bye now.